vague self-help advice. Today together we're going to explore scientifically backed grounding techniques that's based on biology and also neuroscience. And these methods work by influencing the autonomic nervous system, brain function, and also physiological responses to help to restore balance and calmness. Hi everyone, my name is Evette Rose, and remember also to subscribe, stay up to date, and join me every Wednesday for our free masterclasses at matmasterclass.com. Did you know that activating the vagus nerve can actually instill instant calmness? You see, the vagus nerve is a crucial part of the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as our rest and digest state. And this actually can start to stimulate this nerve and can instantly shift your body from a stress response, which is the fight and flight, to a really nice, relaxed state. Now, the neuroscience behind it. You see, the vagus nerve actually controls our heart rate, our digestion, and also our mood regulation. So the high vagal tone is actually linked to lower stress, better emotional resilience, and also improved focus. Now, techniques to stimulate our vagus nerve is actually slow breathing. A lot of people like, for example, to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and then exhale double. So you exhale out 8 seconds. So the longer the exhale, the more it's going to actually activate the vagus nerve. Something that I love to do is when I have a shower. I have a normal warm shower, but at the end, for at least I try to count for 10 seconds, then to turn it completely cold and see if you can just be under that cold water exposure. Or you can splash around in cold water, or you can take a ice plunge if you're brave enough. I don't have that flex yet, but cold shower works for now. It actually can activate that dive reflex, which slows the heart rate and induces calmness. Another one that I really love is humming, chanting, or actually singing, because vibrations from your voice stimulate also the vagus nerve, and it signals relaxation. So something as simple as that I'm sure you've probably heard of that very, very powerful. Another point that you also can use is to use proprioception to connect with your body. Now, this is your brain's sense of the body's position and movement, and activating this helps to build awareness, and it helps to feel more physically grounded and actually a lot more stable. And that also means reducing that mental noise, right? That mental disassociation as well, and that emotional overwhelm as well. And the neuroscience behind it is actually our somatosensory cortex. It processes this proprioceptive input, and it helps the brain to orientate itself, which means movement actually activates the cerebellum and also the basal ganglia, improving coordination and also emotional regulation. So you see, wonderful techniques to help to activate this is to press your feet into the ground and really feel the weight of your body connecting to the earth. I mean, it sounds funny, right? We stand every day. Our feet's on the floor every day. But our awareness is up here, somewhere there. Where's stress? Where's things going on? What do I need to do? What do I need to think about? So really, it's a shift of perception and shifting your awareness to the bottom of your feet. Fully focusing and just being aware of standing. How does your feet feel? How does the weight underneath your feet feel? How does the surface feel that your feet are standing on? This is a very powerful exercise, and let me tell you, it works. It works for me, hands down. Another one also is heavy resistance exercises, like lifting weights. Like I love to do push-ups. I do push-ups at least sometimes every day, even if it's just 10 push-ups. I love to do push-ups because I find that it really, really helps me to activate these deep sensory receptors. And also sometimes, if you've seen my video also why sadness is stored in the heart, like when we feel stressed, how it becomes accumulated in the heart center, how push-ups and these exercises in the gym that we can do in this position also incredibly helpful. I mean, there's so many other more exercises, but this is something that I find, it's amazing, incredibly grounding for me. Another one also that helps me when I feel very anxious is to balance on one foot, because this actually forces the brain to engage the proprioception and stabilize. And you can also actually regulate your cortisol levels through touch. You see, cortisol is the body's primary stress hormone, we know that. And high levels can actually contribute to immense amount of anxiety, these racing thoughts and emotional dysregulation as well. So physical touch is one of the fastest ways to lower cortisol and to also activate my favorite, oxytocin. You see, so the body's natural calming hormone. And the neuroscience behind that is touch receptors in the skin. It actually signals to the insula and the interior cingulate cortex. These regions are responsible for emotional regulation. So oxytocin actually releases also through touch, reduces the amygdala, right, our fear center activation. And it promotes feelings of safety. That's why people love massages. People who love massages and who do it on a regular basis, you walk out feeling calm, safe, and so relaxed and grounded. There's reasons for it. So more techniques to also help you to ground through touch can be, for example, through self-soothing pressure. So what you can do is, for example, press your hands against your chest or jump, or what you can also do is to gently rub your arms. You can hug yourself or you can hug someone. Because, and I mean like a really nice big hug. Because deep pressure stimulates also from a hug, and that lowers blood pressure and it reduces stress hormones. And a lot of people also love weighted blankets or deep pressure stimulation. This also mimics the effects of, for example, firm and reassuring touch as well. Now, did you know that you can also actually engage your prefrontal cortex with a lot of sensory awareness as well? Because the prefrontal cortex, the PFC, it's also the brain's executive control center, which is responsible for that rational thinking and the emotional regulation. Because stress, anxiety, and trauma, it can weaken the PFC activity, making you feel very disassociated, very disorientated, and also very emotionally reactive. So activating the PFC through sensory awareness helps to bring the brain back to the present moment, and that improves focus and grounding. So you see, the neuroscience behind this is actually really interesting, because the PFC regulates the limbic system, which is also our emotional brain, and this reduces fear and anxiety. So sensory engagement really helps to increase dopamine and serotonin, right? All these transmitters that's linked to focus and calm. Now, techniques to activate the prefrontal cortex, it's called the 5-4-3-2-1 method. And that is identifying 5 things that you see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Another one that I also like to do, which I think to do quite on a regular basis, but not on a compulsive basis, is to run your hands underwater. I actually like to wash my hands. I find that to be quite refreshing. I find it's very stimulating for me in a way where it just, whatever stress sensories overload I had, it really calms it down for me. And also the temperature difference creates a strong sensory feedback that actually redirects your focus as well. Also, tactile activities is also really good, like kneading dough, playing with sand, or running your fingers across like textile objects. This also stimulates sensory pathways. Another one also is to use bilateral stimulation that can help to synchronize the brain. But this one is normally best done in the actual context of a healing session. For example, in meta-psychology coaching technique, which is my technique, that we incorporated bilateral stimulation, which is incredibly powerful, because this process helps to process trauma and regulate emotion in a very gentle way. And the neuroscience behind that is that by engaging both hemispheres of our brains, it actually enhances the corpus callosum activity. And this improves emotional regulation and emotional integration. Because bilateral stimulation, it also reduces the overactivation in the amygdala, which is our fear center, and it also then enhances the hippocampal processing center, which is our memory integration as well. Now, what we also can do is balance our brain waves with sound therapy. That's another wonderful point that we also can bring in here, and something that I absolutely love. I always have sound healing music playing in the background when I work, from day in, day out. For me, I love it. Because brain waves, remember, they're patterns of neural activity that can also determine our mental state. And we know also now through research that beta waves, which is the fast brain waves, they dominate when we're stressed. So while the alpha and the theta waves, the more slower brain waves, they induce relaxation and grounding. And so the neuroscience behind it shows us that the alpha waves, 8 to 12 hertz, increases calmness and focus. And the theta waves, 4 to 7 hertz, promote also deep relaxation and emotional processing. So you can have a look at binaural beats, maybe like drumming, a lot of rhythmic sounds as well, nature sounds, believe it or not, rain, waves, the wind, and so much more. They all stimulate the theta brainwave, which will enhance calmness. And if this type of work, like trauma work, grounding work, understanding trauma and understanding how to decode the body and its needs when you're healing, then I'm telling you, you're gonna love this book, Trauma Decoded. Go get your copy at evettebooks.com. You can also get your Kindle version. I think it will be quite an insightful book for you that can also help you a lot on your healing journey. And so just briefly also, final thoughts on today's topic. Science-backed grounding for a resilient mind and body. These techniques are going to 100% support you on your healing journey. Because listen, grounding, it's a lot more than just a psychological concept. It's really deeply rooted in neuroscience and also in biology. So by using these scientific techniques, you can really start to train your brain and your nervous system and stay present, calm, and grounded. So which technique are you going to try first? Drop it in the comments, let us know, and remember to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I love you guys. Be the light that you are. And remember, if you want to learn more about stored emotions in the body and how they can even be hiding behind ailments, tension, pain, negative thoughts, beliefs, any challenges that you're having in your body, there's going to be stored messages. So remember to go grab your copy of Metaphysical Anatomy. It's a big book of 722 medical ailments, and then the emotions that are suppressed behind them as well. You'll be also finding powerful questions in this book that can really truly help you to get started on your healing journey. And you can find your copy at evettebooks.com.